Hey, welcome to the Create a Life That Is Beautiful podcast. I'm your host, Leticia Ringe, and this is the space to be for high vibe people looking to create a beautiful life and business. Let's do this. Welcome back to the podcast, my beautiful friends. I am Leticia Ringe, your host, and it's a pleasure as always to be here sharing this space with you all today. Today, as I record this episode, I am up in the Blue Mountains. I'm here for a week. My mum and I decided to have a week away, so I'm doing a little bit of work, but mostly focusing on relaxing and writing. It's kind of like a writing retreat, which I'm really excited about because writing a book is something that I've had on my list for a long time now and haven't started. I have started a book before. It was all about alcohol, but then I didn't continue with it. And now I am writing a book on another topic. I have at least 5 book ideas in me. Can anyone else relate? I have so many things I want to write about. However, I have got a very clear book that I would love to write as my first book. And so that is something that I am starting to do this week while we're away. So here we are with some very special mountain vibrations for you all. Now, today's episode is a training that I prepared last year. It's all about niching. The reason that I wanted to share this with you all here today on the podcast is because I know that niching is something that drives so many of you up the wall. And it did for me too. I used to spend, it must be hundreds of hours that I spent literally trying to pull my hair out, spinning in circles, efforting, trying so hard to figure out what the best niche would be for me for my business. What would be the one that I should do? What makes the most sense? And it was so difficult because I didn't want to give anything up. I didn't want to commit to one thing that felt limiting, and I wanted all the freedom. And yet I knew that it wasn't working having a million different focuses in my business because that left me also spinning in circles, right? So I appreciated that I did need to choose something, but the issue was that I thought what I chose held all of the answers, all of the power. And it wasn't until one day I realized that the more time I spent trying to pick the one and trying to figure out what would be the best path instead of recognizing that all of these paths are just as good as the other and it doesn't matter which one I pick and that it doesn't mean that I can't do all of the other great ideas that I have, when I actually realized that and realized up until then all of my thinking on niching had been coming from a place of fear and scarcity, it was then that things started to shift for me. And I realized that actually focusing my attention would allow me to expand and amplify my impact in my business. And so then I was able to approach my niching and ideal client exercises from a very different space. And that's why today I really want to share with you all a process that has really helped me when it comes to identifying who my soulmate clients are and what my niche is in a really simple way. And because this topic I know causes so many of you the same drama that it caused me, I really wanted to make sure that you all have this training. So for those of you who have already gone through my online business Kickstarter, you may have already enjoyed this training. If that's you, I recommend that you listen again because this is something that can rear its head more often than once throughout our business journeys. And the reason for that is the second realization I had along my business journey when it comes to niching is that when we are in this spinning in circles and not making a decision about our niche and ideal client, what happens is we don't move forward in our businesses. And the reason that our mind sends us into all of this efforting and trying and wasting time trying to figure it out rather than just picking something, knowing that it doesn't matter which path we pick and that we're not limited. The reason our mind does this is because of our greatest fear, which is our fear of really being our highest, most powerful selves. It's fear of our own success. And so when I was able to see that, the result of my action here, which is spinning around in overwhelm and not picking something, resulted in me not moving forward, which allowed me to be really safe in my comfort zone and not embodying my highest, most powerful self. So, with all of that in our hearts, I wanted to make sure that all of you who haven't gone through my online business Kickstarter yet have got this training in your ears to inspire you and to really help you move forward. And then for those of you who have already gone through the Kickstarter, listen again. You'll pick up on new things this time as well. And when I made a decision and committed to something, which for me was supporting business owners rather than because I wanted to do relationships and finding your purpose and business, when I simply committed to business owners and a specific subset of that in a specific way, my niche began to grow and evolve to what it is today, which is holistic business, which is something I made up, right? It's something that I created myself, and there's nothing else like it out there. And that's how it will be for you too. But you've got to start somewhere, and you've got to make a decision on something so that you can allow that process to start evolving and becoming apparent to you. So it's super exciting. When I did this, I took my business from about $25,000 in revenue to 6 figures. And it was all because of my commitment and my focus. And it made life so much easier because suddenly I wasn't trying to do all the things for all the different niches and all the people in the world. And instead, I was focusing on doing something well, knowing that I can go back to purpose and relationships whenever I want to. But for now, I was going to give myself the gift of really seeing what I was capable of in this new focused direction in my beautiful business. So I'm so excited, everyone, to see what you reveal about yourself. And I would love for you to share over on Instagram, tag me at Leticia Ringe once you've completed this, and let me know, did this training help you? What have you decided? And let's commit together so that we can all share our amazing gifts with the world. All right, my beautiful friends, without further ado, let's dive on in to the episode. Welcome, everybody, to day 1. We are talking about simple and aligned niching. And I'm very excited because I know that when you think of finding your niche, coming up with your ideal client avatars, and all of these things, that this just sends your mind into a tailspin. So I want to give you some great news right from the beginning. If you're here, which you are, in this online business Kickstarter, you have enough information to know who you're speaking to and what you're speaking to them about. And this, my beautiful friend, is enough information, and in fact is all the information you need to have a simple and aligned niche that will evolve over time. So one of the biggest roadblocks to new entrepreneurs and even growing entrepreneurs is this question of the niche, trying to land on the perfect ideal client, try to find the perfect niche. We think that if we land on the perfect ideal client, or if we have enough clarity on the perfect ideal client, if our mind can control this, then that's going to mean that everything else is going to be easier for business. But that's not the case, because while knowing who you're speaking to and what you're speaking to them about is crucial for creating a business, we don't need it to be so controlled. And it's not what you choose that is what matters. All that matters is that you choose something. So I want to make things super, super, super simple today and super, super aligned for you today when you approach this topic, so that by the end of this training, as you implement the exercises for today, you can walk away knowing exactly who you're speaking to and what you're speaking to them about. And this is going to form the basis of what your business is about, right? So in business, there are three entities. There's you, the individual, there is the business as a separate entity, and then there is your community. Now, without any of these three pieces, the business breaks down, right? The business needs you to nourish it, to nurture it, to be in your zone of genius and just loving your life and thriving in it, feeling aligned. And then the business needs to exist. Otherwise, we wouldn't have anything that we would be serving, right? We would just be showing up in the world and, just as ourselves. The business has its own purpose, its own mission. And part of that mission is to serve its community. It's also to create profit, to keep the business sustainable. And, our businesses have lots of different commitments that it needs to uphold as well. Just like you, your commitments to yourself are all about holistically thriving as an individual, right? That's like the requirement that you're willing to work and partner with this business. If I'm allowed to thrive, then I'm going to work in this business. But if I'm not thriving in the business as I work on it, then I'm not going to be working on it, right? That would cause a breakdown in our relationship. And equally, if the business is being neglected and the business's commitments and stakeholders and purpose and mission, if that is not being taken into account and we're not nurturing it in the way that we have committed in that relationship to nurturing it, then the business breaks down as well. Okay, so then we have our third entity, and this is the community. So the business is directly serving that community. So in order for the business to function, to be sustainable, to be profitable, and to be scalable, your business needs to know who it's serving and what it's serving them with. You also, as the individual who wants to be holistically thriving, also wants to know that, so that why am I doing this? Why am I in business? Why do I show up every day and nourish this business entity so that I can nourish this other beautiful community entity? So for your own fulfillment and satisfaction, it's important that you know who you're speaking to and what you're speaking to them about. And then for your beautiful business to thrive as well, to be profitable, sustainable, and scalable, you got to know who that business is speaking to and serving. Now, this does not mean that you need to go and learn a new skill, that you need to learn a new modality. As I mentioned before, I'm trained in lots of different things, but actually I've just become trained in these things throughout the years that I've been in business. So as I've been inspired or excited to learn something new and I've thought, hey, this could serve my community, or I just want to learn this for my own satisfaction, I've gone and gotten trained in that, right? But it's absolutely not essential for you to learn anything else other than what you've got with you today to start serving people. And this is the great thing about being in business and being in an online business. We are all born with unique gifts and zones of genius. They were with us from the moment we took our first breath. They've been given to us to share and enjoy in this lifetime. And so when we look to, well, what are those things? What naturally do I love doing? What naturally do I lose time in because I just enjoy it so much? What are the things that I just take for granted that I feel like everybody else in the world can do them, but actually they are one of my zones of genius and they just come so naturally to me? When we allow ourselves to use those gifts and then combine them with the things that we actually are interested in, that is all the information you need to actually have a business, right? The business is going to use those things that you're interested in and your zones of genius in some shape or form. So now we just need to know who we're helping with these things, right? Who could we serve within this area and what are we serving them with? So you don't need to go and learn anything else. We can take you with where you're at because actually that is what you're designed to do in this lifetime anyway. So I always want to mention this because especially as women, there's been many studies on this. we tend to want to keep learning and learning and learning and learning and learning, trying to get the A plus in life with all of the knowledge that we're learning and being the great student. But when it comes to actually executing and implementing and trusting ourselves and being in the present moment and allowing ourselves to flow with that present moment information and allow the business journey or the life journey to unfold, that can be a little bit more difficult, right? We want to stay in the learning phase. So we're always seeking this perfection because we're hoping that we'll land on the perfect thing. And then that is going to mean that we can then move forward more easily. It's not true. What we want to do is use that information, your zones of genius and your interests to just move forward and start your business using that information. And then I'm going to help you with the missing piece, which is about your simple and aligned niche. And just know that the clarity around your niche evolves over time. So you'll start focusing on this specific group of people. And then as you create content for them, as you serve them, as you work with them, you're going to find out more and more and more and more and more about these people and what you do, what you can support people with and what you do enjoy supporting people with and what you don't. And then that niche is going to get even more specific. And then over your business journey, as you decide, oh, I'm going to get qualified in this or trained in that, or I'm going to really research and read up on and equip myself in the tools within a specific area, that's then just going to add another tool to your tool belt. But the people that you're serving stays the same the whole time. And the other important thing to know about this is that the one skill that you absolutely 100% do need as a business owner throughout that whole business journey is the skill of being in business. So the number one skill that you could go and get qualified in, and you do not need a qualification, you just need to take the time to learn and to implement and fail and try again and find what works for you, is business, is learning how to sell your services or products to your clients. It's learning how to promote and market yourself. It's learning what you need to have a strong foundation in your business to really thrive. And all of these things are not things that you should just know, even if you've done a business degree or a business course. You know, this is something that takes time to learn and understand. It's something that you'll need throughout your entire business journey, no matter what role you hold in your business or company. And it's the one skill that's guaranteed. So my top suggestion for you is that you invest your time, your energy, your attention, your finances into understanding the skill of being in business and knowing that what falls under that umbrella is huge. There is always more to learn, which is what makes business so exciting. I love business. I came in with zero experience, zero learning. But what I love is that I've been able to, over time, learn more and more and more and more about business and bring all of my community with me because I'm committed to growing and evolving and expanding. And that keeps me so intellectually and satisfied and inspired. So I'd love to offer that for you too. Yes, you're a beginner here in business in some shape or form. That's a beautiful thing. Meet yourself where you are. And by showing up for something like this is you investing your time and your energy and intention. So use it seriously and wisely. Give this your full presence and be here with me now. Be here with me over the next 3 trainings as well. Be here for yourself and for the business that's calling your soul. Okay, everybody. So let's dive into today's training. I'm going to take you through an exercise for coming up with your simple and aligned niche. But I just want to rehash that niches, when we think of that, it's just a particular section or sector of the possible market of all of the people in the world that you are focusing on, right? You're focusing on a specific who and you're focusing on a specific what. So for instance, if I was focusing on women within personal development, and that's the who, what I'm actually helping them with could be all sorts of things. It could be business, like what I'm doing. It could be supporting them with spirituality, with mindset, with health, like so many different things that you as a online business provider could be supporting that same niche or sector of people in. And so it's really important to know who that is, but also what you're talking to them about, so that you can make sure the way that you speak is always directed to these people, right? It's like the dot in the this is like all the people, and we want that dot, that bullseye, right? So you're only speaking to those people. This makes things so much easier, because when you think of creating content, when you think of creating your products and services, when you think of writing emails, when you think of making decisions in your business, you are making them with that specific community in mind. So you forget everybody else. No, you are not here to serve everyone. Now, just before I help you get more specific to support your mind, really take this all on board, you are not limited either by that specific bullseye, right? You're not limited to just those people. So the idea is that by focusing on someone specific who you're speaking to and creating products and services for, that just makes life easier for you. And it also makes you more potent, your energy and your attention more potent, because you're able to find all of these possibilities for these people. You're able to serve these people in a much higher value way, because you're only thinking of them when you're creating all of your products and services and offerings and content. Now, if you try to think of, okay, so I want to talk to this specific person, but I also want to talk to other people who are within that same category, but on all of these other topics, or I want to talk to this person and all of these other who's that fall outside of our bullseye. When you do that, that sends you into confusion, right? It sends your mind into indecision and decision fatigue and chaos. And it's like, I'm in this overabundance of ideas. And everybody, this is the age that we're living in, right? This is the age that we're in. We're in information overload, right? There's so many options and possibilities. So getting specific on who we're speaking to is actually going to support you to feel clearer, more calm, and also to amplify your message so that it's way more impactful. So let's just imagine this. If we don't do this and we just go with, okay, whatever's coming through each day, and I'm thinking I've got all of these different people in mind and I'm supporting them with different things, and they're in different like communities. And so we start, I write posts for this person and that person. I create products for this person and that person. And, our attention is split, right? And so is our energy. So it makes sense that when we gather all of that together, our attention and our energy, and we only focus on that bullseye, the level at which we're able to serve those people is so much higher, because every time we go to working on the business in that partnership, we have that specific community in mind. So I know exactly what they need, because I've spent so much time working with these same people, supporting these same people. And knowing that within that group, within that bullseye, there is so much diversity, right? You can get as specific as you want, but as a starting point, we don't want to get too specific, right? So we just go with the information that we have. And you will know that because it will be the information that you already have. You don't need to force anything that you don't know. I'm not going to get you to do that. In fact, I'm going to take you through 6 questions. And if you ever go through ideal client exercises, usually there's so many. I'm going to ask you 6. And with those 6 questions combined, you're going to know exactly who you're speaking to and what you're speaking to them about. So let's go into it. Who are you speaking to? Now, you can stop and pause this as I'm delivering this training. Otherwise, you can listen to it once and then go back and listen again. There's also a workbook that will help you go through these exercises. What I don't recommend, though, is listening and then walking away and not implementing. That's going to increase the likelihood that you won't implement. And when you don't implement, you're not going to create the results that you want, which is to feel clear about who and what you're speaking to. So who you're speaking to and what you're speaking to them about, so that you can create a profitable, sustainable, and scalable online business. So here we go. Questions for who. The first question is to think of the people that you enjoy being around, right? So who is someone that you absolutely love being around? When you're with them, you're in the flow, right? You're in your zone. Time goes by quickly. You feel uplifted and inspired to be around these people. You love being there. You walk away feeling like you've got, a lift in your energy rather than feeling drained. So who are those people? It could be a friend, it could be a colleague, a family member, someone specific, an individual that every time you meet them, you feel that way. I want you to tune into who those people are that you enjoy being around. And then from that, whatever comes up from the who, those people that start to come into your mind, I would love for you to ask yourself, how would you describe them? And what I'm talking about here is, like, what is their personality like? What are their interests? Like, what are you talking about when you meet one another? Start thinking about what are the common characteristics of this particular person. So here you are under this question of who. When we think of your soulmate client who is out there, you're asking, like, how would you describe them? Who are they as a person? And you can have as little or as much information as you like here. Just allow yourself to write without censoring. Now, while you're feeling into that, I also just want to mention, so one of the things that one of the biggest roadblocks for many people when they're starting to go on social media or develop an online presence is that we think about, well, what are my family going to think, or my friends, or what's this person that I used to work with? The reason that this simple and aligned niching exercise is also so supportive for you is that you don't need to worry about those other people. That's not who you're speaking to. The who and what you're speaking to is a very specific kind of person for your business. So we're not here to serve our friends and family, right, through the business. It's very rare that will be the case. And even if it were, it would only be a very specific subsection of those people. So when you are sharing content and your mind is saying, oh my gosh, what are all these people going to think of? Or does this actually relate to, Susie that I used to work with, or does this relate to the 10 different groups of people that I'm thinking of? Rather than doing that, you're just going to be thinking of that one specific community and what you're helping them with, okay? And so that's going to make things so much easier for you. So the first question, think of people you enjoy being around. How would you describe them? Now, for instance, in terms of my community, actually, I'll just talk about who I love spending time with, who is the same personality as the people who are my soulmate clients. And notice I use this word soulmate clients because it's finding that beautiful soulmate match for you, right? It's the people who are in your community. To create an aligned, thriving business, you want them to be people that you would want to hang around, right? You enjoy, like, I love getting on a call with my clients. I love it. I love jumping on my Mistress Mind and having amazing women there who I would love to hang out with. I love that. And you can have that too, right? It just requires you to take a little bit of self-reflection to ask, well, who do I actually enjoy being around in the first place? So for me, I love being around people who value freedom, fun, and fulfillment, right? People I love to hang around. They're very much about being in the flow. I walk away and I just feel lit up after talking to them or spending time with them. And they feel very high vibe, right? High vibe energy, like a positive thinker, thoughtful as well, curious. So all of these qualities and characteristics are building together a personality of the person that I love working with. And when we know and get specific on these things, we can start tuning into a specific person, which also then helps us to attract and bring in these people, as well as then, of course, putting out material to also support them. So that is an example of that. You could have literally anything. In terms of interest, the people that I love hanging around love personal development, they love business, they love podcasts. And that is actually literally describing someone who I would love to be around as a friend, right? I feel high vibe when I'm around them. They're thoughtful. We go deep. We talk about life. We talk about personal development, business, podcasts. That's a very specific person. Not everybody likes all of those things, and you wouldn't describe very many people in that way. So already I've got such a specific person here. Okay, so answer that question uncensored for yourself and start to paint that beautiful picture for yourself of who this person is. The second question to help you get clarity on the who is think of the way you feel when you're with them. Now, I've already kind of touched on this, but now you get to really answer this question. So when you're with them, what are you feeling in your body? And you can think about this when you're actually with them in their physical presence and also afterwards. How do you feel after? And I feel that this is really important because you can tell a lot by whether a relationship is great for you based on the way you feel after you're with that person. So sometimes we walk away from meetings with people or being around people, spending time with people, and we walk away feeling super drained. That could be that we've just not listened to our body and we've been there for too long, but it can also be a good indicator that person just drains you, right? And so when we think about what makes us feel aligned, what makes us feel good, you want to keep moving forward in the way that your body's leading you. So I would be looking for the people that you just feel good to be around after, right? You feel uplifted, you feel energized. And so that's a really good sign that these are people that are really going to be great for you as clients too. So think of the way you feel around them when you're with them and also afterwards. These are the sorts of feelings that I feel after hanging around with those people I described before. So after I hang around these people, I feel uplifted, I feel excited, I feel energized, I feel inspired. And when I'm with them, I feel the same. I feel super present. I feel definitely inspired. And I definitely feel excited as well. I feel like it's fun, right? It's fun and high vibe. So combined with those first two questions, we've got a very specific person coming into form. And because we all know that energy, it's all about the energy of things. So when we're trying to manifest and bring things to us or align with experiences we want, it's about the way we feel, right? It's not about I'm going to think it and then I'm going to attract this thing to me. It's about being in the energy of what we want. So when we know who our soulmate clients are, and we know how it feels to be around them, we can spend time in that energy ourselves without actually working with those clients. So for instance, for me, I would want to spend time feeling inspired, excited, having fun, spending time with people who also make me feel that way to be around. And the more that I do this, the more I'm in the energy of this, the more I become a magnet for those people that I want to work with. Okay, let's go to the final question under who. The third question is what do you enjoy talking about or doing with them? So this is just another way to flesh out some more specifics with the who. Here's an example for you. So what I personally love to do with the people that I've identified as those people that I love being around is I just love to talk. Right? I love to chat. I love to listen about their stories, what's going on in their life, what they think about things, their perspective, their viewpoints. And I love to also, of course, share the same thing. So I love talking. I love meeting up in a cafe and spending like 4 hours where we're just ordering, drinks as we need them, some delicious teas and that sort of thing. And we're just chatting and we're so deeply engrossed in these conversations and it just feels so great. I also love going for walks with them and talking while we're walking. I like sending voice memos and talking, right? These are the things that I love doing with the people that I love spending time with. Other things are going to events together, going to see an awesome, inspiring personal development speaker or business speaker. So right here, I have got such a specific person coming to my heart, and I haven't needed to go out and figure anything out, right? All this is asking myself, who are those people that I would love to hang around anyway? And this is telling me a very specific person. It's giving me that bullseye, and it will for you too. So I'm really excited for you to answer these questions for yourself and find out who your who is for your soulmate client. Okay, so we're going to go to the next part, which is all about the what. So I know who that person is. I know what I love hanging out and doing with them. I know what I love, how I feel when I'm around them, and I know how I would describe them as a person. So now I want to talk about, well, what am I helping them with? So here are three questions for you. What do these people most desire? So see how we've now gotten so before you had all of these options, right? Lots of possibilities swirling around. Through this question, we've gone, and we've focused in on a pool of people, right? This specific pool of people. Now what we're going to do is narrow in again through answering this what. So with these people, with only these people in mind, the people you identified in your answers to the who, what do these people most desire? What do they most desire? These people that you love being around. Now, this tells you a lot about what you're actually going to be helping them with, right? This is the transformation they desire. You've probably heard, if you've listened to anything in business, is that in order to create a business, you need to have a problem that you're solving. You need to have a solution to that problem. So this question focuses on the transformation you're helping them with. What is that, what's the end result of solving the problem? Why do they want to solve the problem? What is it? What is that thing that they desire? And this is what I call the transformation. So what do these people most desire? There might be a number of things, and there probably are. You can just jot down some of the things they desire. So with my group of people, what they most desire is a life that feels fun and free, right? They want to work on their own terms. They want to create on their own terms. They want to feel fully creatively expressed. They want to feel fulfilled. They want a business. They want to be creating amazing things like podcasts and YouTube channels and online courses and programs. And they want to work with people that they love. They want to go traveling and on holidays, and they want to look after their body and feel healthy and happy and fulfilled. They want to also have time for their family and their friendships, and they want this life that is on their terms. They want this alignment, this freedom, and this impact. That's a very specific person, isn't it? That's most likely you, right? And that's how I got here today. So what do these people most desire? This is the transformation, the end result of actually working with you, right? Now, you don't need to think about it in that way, and I suggest that you don't. Just focus on, what do these people most desire? If they could have anything they wanted, what would it be? And you will know this because you love being around them, and chances are you are one of those people within that community of people too. Okay, the second question under what is stopping them? So what is stopping them from those things that they desire? What is stopping them? Because there's otherwise, why wouldn't they have the things that they desire? So there's got to be something getting in the way, something that's stopping them. So this is the problem. This is the problem that you're helping people to solve. But don't think of the question like that yet. Just ask yourself, what is stopping them from having and experiencing the things that they most desire, the life that they desire? So for my people, what's stopping them are things like their mindset. They're scared to break away from the status quo. They're scared of doing things differently. They're stuck in their masculine energy, trying to force themselves to do without alignment, without intention. They also can't see their own power, right? They can't see how amazing they are. They can't see the possibilities for themselves. They also are limited by thinking that they can't have it all, right? That they've got to choose things. They've got to make sacrifices, that they need to do things in the way that they've done them before, that they've seen other people do them before. They don't know how to build that life, right? They don't know how to build the successful business. They don't know how to scale their business, how to create a profitable business. So see how I'm getting all of these problems for my soulmate client. And this is extremely important information so that I can then create content and offerings that support this specific person. All right, the third question is, how can you help them get there? So you've got the problem, like what's stopping them, and you've got what they desire. How can you help them overcome that problem? What is actually stopping them to create what they actually desire? Now, in order to answer this question, you also need to know, well, where are they today? Like, where are they coming from today? How can you help them leapfrog over that problem to move towards the life that they actually desire? Now, of course, you don't need to know all of the answers to get them to this final endpoint destination. That's not how life works. I don't know if you've noticed. Life is a journey and is always evolving. There's lots of steps along the way. But there is a way that you can support them right now, because you are here and you wouldn't be here unless there was, that you can support these people you've identified go from where they are now, overcoming what's stopping them, and moving towards where they want to be, right? That life that they desire. So think about this using the skills that you have. Meet yourself where you are today. What is something that you could support them with to overcome that problem? And that is your solution, right? That's your solution. And then this becomes really important when we talk about offers later. It's also just super important because now you know what you're supporting them with. You're helping them make this transformation, right? This transition. And that is incredibly important to know. So what is your solution? So for example, throughout the course of my business, at the start of my business, I started off as a general life coach. And then I went to supporting people to find their purpose. And then it moved into supporting people to start businesses. And then it moved to supporting women to start and grow successful businesses. And as I've gone along my business journey, what I've been able to offer has expanded within that very specific focus. So at the beginning, when I was talking about general life coaching, I was using the skills that I had. I had my own personal experience of changing my life and figuring out what my purpose was and up-leveling my mindset and creating a life that actually felt aligned and really getting clear on what that was. So one of the solutions I had for my people was that I could support them in getting clarity to move them towards that life that they desire. I could also support them in managing their mindset, which is what was getting in their way. Then as I became a purpose coach, then I was supporting people to get clarity on what their purpose is and really seeing what their zones of genius are and understanding why they're here and what they can support people with. And then it was, okay, I can support you with actually starting the business and getting everything, getting that foundation together. And then it was, I can support you in creating this thriving life and business and building the business that you desire. So that is the solution. And you have something based on your zones of genius, the gifts that you were born to share, which remember, that's what your zones of genius are, your interests, and also your experience that you could support people with right away today. So based on all of that, when we combine the who and the what, we have a very specific person in mind. And that is your simple and aligned niching. That is who you're here to work with. Now, the next question is, well, how do I articulate that in a very succinct Instagram bio or sentence? What I want you to know is none of that matters, right? I have changed my Instagram bio at least 100 times, and I'm always like, oh, I might change it here. It's actually a very big waste of time, and it's the same with the copy on your website. None of it matters, okay? It can become more important at various points, but it's never as important as you think. So this is more important. It's just you knowing in your mind and in your heart who it is you're speaking to, so you can actually speak to them and actually serve them. So whatever clarity you have as you combine this who with the what, that is all the clarity that you need to really move forward and amplify your business and or get started on your business in like the first step, right? That's all that you need. So my recommendation now, if you haven't already stopped and paused this to ask yourself the questions, is to grab the workbook and make your way through the questions for this training. And I'm really excited to hear more about the beautiful, simple, and aligned niche that is emerging for you too. All right, everybody, I'll see you in our next training. So there you have it, my beautiful friends. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode all about simple and aligned niching, and I hope you now feel inspired and clear on exactly what to do to bring clarity to yourself on this very important topic. I'm also excited to hear your stories. Share with me who and what is your niche and your ideal client. Come and hang out over on Instagram stories at Leticia Ringe, or start a conversation over in the Holistic Business community. You can join us in the Holistic Business community. It's my free community for business owners devoted to doing business holistically. Head to leticiaringe.com/community to join us. And if you'd love to now sink your teeth into the 3 other trainings that make up my online business Kickstarter, which takes you through the 4 most powerful and impactful steps I would take if I was starting my business again or wanting to bring more momentum to my business right now. You can dive into those 3 extra trainings at leticiaringe.com/Kickstarter. And if you are ready to really start your beautiful business, you're ready to create a business doing what you love and thriving financially, spiritually, creatively, emotionally, mentally, and physically across your life as a whole, you're ready to create and build a life on your terms and create a business that will provide a structure and way for you to do that, I also want to invite you to join us in Create Your Beautiful Biz. Create Your Beautiful Biz is my signature business building program. It's for people who are new to business or people who know that they need more guidance and structure and clarity to help them create a solid foundation to really make your difference and thrive in business. You also, not only do you get a guided business building process that you can now complete on your own time, but you'll also receive lifetime access to our community of Create Your Beautiful Biz members who are all business owners, entrepreneurs, coaches, healers, creatives, who are all not only devoted to doing business holistically, but also devoted to building a business that is uniquely suited for you. It's so beautiful. There is so much infinite potential when it comes to the businesses that we can create. And so I wanted to make sure that we have a space that we can all pop into whenever you've got business questions, whenever you want to connect with other business owners and not feel alone. And so that's what you get in Create Your Beautiful Biz. And this is a community that I can't wait to see how over the years it continues to evolve. I love connecting people, and so you, my beautiful friend, will meet so many other wonderful souls in this community. So if this is calling your soul too, head to leticiaringe.com/CYBB and come and join us. We would love to have you. All right, my beautiful friends, I will see you in our next episode. Bye.